Hello everyone. In our last tutorial we have discussed about stubs and mocks. What is a stub and what is a mock and how they are useful in writing our unit test cases. Right. For example, if there is a user profile class, user profile service, which a profile manager uses it. So to check how it is how the profile manager is behaving, if the service is giving a predictable response. So the predictable response, for that reason we use the stub. Profile manager behavior, when the service returns a profile, we use the stubs, and we use the mocks to understand how the dependencies are handled, whether the profile manager is calling the fetch user profile service or not when we call the get display name. So that's the basic difference between a stub and a mock. So using stub we can understand the behavior of the entity under observation, which is profile manager. Using the mock we can understand the understand whether the dependencies are properly called in the entity under observation, so which is again profile manager, the dependency being the fetch profile service. So which is good, and using which we are able to quickly unit test state by writing a stub for positive user profile service, which gives a response of a user, and the negative user profile service, which gives a nil response. This is fine, but just understand if in a single screen, if you are having a model, a structure, a protocol and a class, correct? So imagine across the applications how many protocols we would be having, and how many structures, classes, models we would be having, how many enums we would be having. So for all these cases, if developers have to write them manually, then it is tedious. So for each and every positive scenario, negative scenario, for each and every protocol, I need to put the stub, mock, and also the default values that I need to give like this. So for that we have a third party component available, which is nothing but Sourcery. So if we quickly discuss it, it is as simple as calling this pod, having this dependency pod, and the Sourcery is basically uses the stencil templates. Once you go and you do the pod update, you get all the stencils that this Sourcery provides to us. So if we go to this pods, so I did the pod install, so that's where I have got pods in my project. So if I go to pods, this is the Sourcery, and this is the bin from where Sourcery commands are executed, and these are the templates. So Sourcery pretty much follows something called stencils, which are like auto cases, cases for codable and decodable. Also we can write the automatic templates for protocols, and also mockable we can write it. So these are the stencils. So if we see, we can let me open this with Xcode itself and show. So this is nothing but a stencil template that Sourcery follows, using which it generates the mocks. So let's not worry much into these stencils, but what we usually do in our projects is, these stencils we put it in our project, or also in the test folder or the project folder. So for my convenience, I have put it in here. So one is auto mockable, auto stubbable. We can edit these as well, based on our requirements. We can edit these stencil templates, like we can have whatever default values we have. This template is pretty much editable. If you can see, default value that stencil gives for a string is Bob. For a decimal, I think it gives 3.14. So max length, date, if the default date gives like this, some default color as blue, if you are not specifying any default value. So this is the template that Sourcery uses to write the mocks and stubs for us. It uses it, and it generates auto-generated files, which are nothing but the Swift files. So there is a command that and also Sourcery uses YML file, sourcery.yml file, where we need to function what are all the source files that need these conversions, these mocks or stubs. that means Sourcery using the command at the time of build or going through the terminal, we can give a command and Sourcery automatically generates the mocks or stubs or anything equitable protocol related, auto mocking them. So everything it creates in the form of in the output, whatever we give in the output. So this is sources, we can mention it as okay, the project Sourcery, in the Sourcery project templates. What I'm following is the path I have given is Sourcery templates / common. So these are these two only templates I needed, and the output is generated. So this apps is arguments is nothing but testable imports. For example, if we since I have kept it in my project folder, this imports, this auto mockable testable imports are not needed, but generally arguments we use it. Why? Because usually we put the auto generated files in the test folder. Why? Because option marks we create it for the unit test, they are not needed in the project actually. So imports are pretty much needed. Why? Because for example, if I'm using the default date, I need the foundation. So based on the data types that we are having, these imports are important. Now, so pretty much that's the YML file, ML file we call it as. Like SwiftLint, in our earlier video tutorials we have seen for SwiftLint, Swift format, there are YML files. YML files are pretty much we write some rules in SwiftLint and Swift format. It's like okay, enable these, disable these, enable these files, disable these files, like that. In the sourcery.yaml file will give like which folder you want. I mean you can specify going inside. So sources is nothing but the part templates. Currently whatever the templates that are there in the common I have given, you can also give multiple templates separately if you want. Like this output is the output folder where you want this to be generated. Arguments is nothing but the like testable imports. We do this sort of testable imports will be generated in the auto files. So in the Sourcery, in the generated, this is the folder I have given as the output file where here I want them. Okay, so I think giving an example makes more sense. Now Sourcery is all like the command based. So if this is how the Sourcery takes the command. So when we auto stubbable like this, auto mockable, so this is how we need to give it. And there is a command where so this is what we are doing currently. Sourcery can be, we can auto stubbable we give it for the models, usually auto mockable we give it for the protocols. We can give the default mock values, we can give the default stub values. This we will discuss in a while. But coming to the command, so quickly if you ask me, so this is the command. I have just made it ready instead of wasting some time. So this is my path. Let me comment it and we'll discuss. So this is my pod Sourcery bin folder, which we just discussed. Pods, so if we go to the pods folder, Sourcery bin, so this is the bin file. So that's what we execute and we config, and configuration file. So pretty much we're saying like this is where I have kept the Sourcery stuff, Sourcery sh or some file, and configuration. Now I am going to configure it. What is the configuration? The configuration which I have mentioned in the YAML file, which is nothing but this. So this configuration file is having sources template output. So when I go to terminal, when I execute the command, so actually what this command will do is, it in all the sources file, it checks with based on these commands, it checks, and it uses these stencils and it generates the mocks or stubs in the in the folder that we have given in the output path. And also it provides the imports based on the arguments that we have provided. So it's as simple as that, very straightforward. Now I execute it. Now it is executing. Now it like found 12 types in 3 files, one changed from last run. So in the view controller, so files changed. In this view controller, I think it observed something where auto stubbable, auto mockable. It is supposed to be generating in this generated folder. Let's see whether it generated it or not. Yes, it generated this. And I think pretty much we can have it here instead of every time going there. So I am adding it here. So these are not needed in the project, actually these are not needed in the project for now. So if you see, just a second, auto mockable, spelling is correct, auto stubbable, auto mockable, maybe my spelling is wrong, let me cross check. Auto stubbable, S capital, auto mockable, M capital, maybe that is the mistake I did, just a second. Auto mockable and auto stubbable. Okay, let me run the command again. Okay, let's close this and run it again. It is supposed to be generating code. Okay, we'll remove everything and try it again. Let me actually copy and paste auto stubbable. Auto mockable. Okay, this we have given. Now I'm going back. Now I'm checking two templates. It took some time. Yeah, it generated. So this is the user profile stub by default. Why? Because in the stencil it is Bob, so that's the reason it has taken Bob. And this so if we are here having Swift format, we are using Swift lint. This stencil, this stencil is having this Swift format disable or enable all. Why? Because these are just the mocks, so it's not required. So by default, if there is an int value, as we have shown earlier in the stub, it takes 14 as the default value, Bob. If you don't want, here you can change it. In the stencil you change it. For example, if you don't want something like this, so here you can change it, and next time when you run it, it is supposed to be, see, it changed it. And id 14 I don't want. Stencil, the default value what I want is, let's say 2. So again you go, you do the run, then you get whatever you want to. So that's how it is. It's very easy. Stubs are automatically generated, and we can pretty much use them like user profile dot user profile just a second, what it generated, user profile dot stub. User profile dot stub, it's not coming here, so maybe I need to add to the project, maybe then only I can access dot stub. Default values it is taking, but if you want if you want some default, if you don't want default values for just for different test cases, you can put it like this. Stub is unused. Okay, stop, let's stop it. So like this I can use my stubs. This is very handy than instead of me creating so and so stubs and all, so it generates. Let me quickly see why this auto mock is not happening. Auto mockable, Sourcery, see, spelling I missed it, that is the reason. Copy paste is good. Now again I run it. If I go to auto mockable, now it's working fine. See, fetch user profile response. As we know that mocks are just to understand whether the dependency is getting called perfectly or not. That is the reason. If you can see user profile service mock, it is extended from user profile service. It is having whether the correct profile, how many times this fetch user profile is getting called or not. That means whenever actually if I am calling the get display name, I expect that this fetch user profile count should be 1. So that's basically, this is the generated file. We are not supposed to be editing it, but just to explain you I am editing it, and also what is the return, whether I passed user ID, whether the correct user ID is getting returned or not, we can validate here. And also not only this, I can have the default values, for example default mock value based on the type. Now I go here, sorry, now I go here and here there are no mocks, but default return value I can give. So if not this, I think I have added some offer address and product is having whether offer is available or not, and ship address. So in that, for example, let me put it as auto mockable, this protocol product, and okay, I go here. So every time instead of going here and running the command, this command, the same command we can have it in the script phase as well. So I create a run script phase. So sorry, I go here in the run script phase, I do this, and based on dependency analysis, now I need it for each and every build, so that every time I build it I don't need to go and execute the command. So based on whatever the value, so this is run Sourcery, this run script is for Sourcery. Now view controller, I went and I made it auto mockable. Now what I expect is in the mockable I need product mock, correct? So I build it. I don't need to go to terminal every time and run the command. Build got succeeded. Now if I go to auto mockable, see product mock is created. So it is having ID, name, description, offer available, everything. Now it's as simple as using my product mock in my test cases. Product mock dot or product mock. Sorry, this also I need to add the target. Then I go here. Then I call product mock. I can give whatever the values I need, but instead of this also I can go and I can give the Sourcery default return value. Let's copy paste. I'm writing wrong spellings. So okay, this is what I want to have for the ID. So default mock value is, let's say I want 10. So default, if user is not giving anything, so name is some Alex. Stencil by default gives Bob. I want Alex. So price offer available by default, I want it to be false by default. These are the default. Sorry. Is offer sorry. The default mock values is offer available, I want it as false. Now let's build it and see the mock values. I think here it is there, over there also it got generated, that's why it is complaining. Earlier we wrote it when we were discussing stubs and mock. So build is successful. Now if we go and see mockable, it is having product mock. See the okay, is offer available default values it has taken as false, but as per the stencil, so Alex is taken as this. So what we actually need to do is we need to give it in the double quotes. So whether it is double quotes or single double quotes are enough, it's pretty much depends on the stencil. In the stencil, what they have given to the written values and all. So based on that, so I'll delete it and I'll run it again. So Alex should be like a string it is supposed to generate. Actually sometimes we need to clear the derived data and we need to come back, or we need to close the way, because everything it is an auto generated file. So this will be there. Okay, it generated. See, now Alex has come as string. If I give the double quotes in the like this, and the default mock value for ID I have given it as done. so the default mock value has come it as 10. So that's how it's very flexible to have the default values of the stencil templates, and using the auto mockable, auto generated. Now it's very easy to generate how many user profile stubs I want, correct? So that's pretty much the advantage of Sourcery for generating the stubs and mocks for the unit test cases that we need to build, instead of we developer writing each and every stubs and mock for each and every protocol model and all. So not only this, what we can also do is, let me clear everything, and auto mockable I can write by putting a comma. For example, user profile, I want it for example, okay, this, let's just address I want it to be auto mockable, and I want it to be auto stubbable also. Now if I build and generate it, okay, let me close this, and again let me generate it. Okay, if I go, okay, let me build, okay, revert. Line 1, line 2, I was all state, say all the strings are having the default. Okay, now like if you can see the address has come in the stub, and also address will be there in the, should be there in the mock as well. Okay, let's see, we need to revert it. Okay, address should be there in the as a mock also. Address mock is available here. Okay, I think we reverted. Let's build it again. If we go to view controller, okay, address we want auto mockable and auto stubbable. Auto mockable, but only stub is coming. Okay, let's build it and see. I see only stub. Just a second, let me cross check, or let's give it opposite. Maybe auto mockable needs to be after something. It's just trial and error sometimes, or we can go to the Sourcery actual this pod git, and also we can check. Well, succeeded. Let me go to, okay, something is wrong. It's not, I'm not calling it correctly, or no, it is supposed to be generating, but I don't know, maybe something wrong. This is how we generated, but that's fine. Okay, mock property default mock value also we can give, or mock property we can give it like this. Default stub value also we can give like this. If I go to view controller, we know that for strings it's always also line 1, or let's say for the country, the default value, let's say it's always India, and for the state, let's say it's always Telangana. Postal code, let's say we don't do the stub value for postal code, but let's say this. Now based on this, it takes the default values instead of what is there in the stencil. So if I go to stubbable, see my default values has they have come. Okay, something happened to this mockable, that's fine. We can generate it until it comes. Now it's just the build, or I can go here also and I can generate the mocks. File got corrupted or something, or did I make auto mockable, auto stubbable, auto mockable? Excellent. Okay, so pretty much that's where okay, now the mocks also come. There is some discrepancy, but yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and also if you are using promise kit, we can do this. So if you are doing auto equatable auto equatable, it already generates. If you have a custom model, if you want it to be conform to the equatable protocol, we can do this stuff. And it's like default mock property also we can provide. Ignore auto equating associated values if you're doing the enums. So pretty much it's very useful, especially in case of stubs and mocks when writing the unit test cases. Now for me it's now very easy to very easy to validate something. Let's validate something also. For example, let's say let me comment this. Let's say I need some or in the same, try to use it. Okay, p stub is nothing but user profile stub, correct? User profile dot stub ID and name I can provide, or I can use the default values. Now the same argument user profile does not conform to expected type service. Profile manager service, what it is expecting, user profile service. Okay, user profile service, do we have user profile service? We have the mock. User profile service positive stub. Okay, okay, classes we have given. Okay, let's make it auto stubbable, auto mockable, and let's make it auto stubbable, since we want a stub now and we want a mock also, auto mockable also. Auto mockable, auto stubbable. Now I'll build it. Now hope it generated stub for user profile service as well. Okay, if it not, since I need stub first, I'll go and I'll build it. Okay, this is user profile stuff, this is okay, let me delete and do it again. Let's go to this and execute. Something I'm not doing correctly, that's the reason. But actually whenever you generate these are auto generator file, that's where it's having some product mock shape, it's having the references, no? So that's where user profile service. Okay, maybe the stencils are happening only for the protocols, it is taking only mockable and stuff. That's fine, we can change the stencils as whatever we want. Maybe they're considering only protocols only can have, and if it is stencil, I don't think they are considering protocol, which is fine. But I can quickly go here and take one step. For example, if not this, get display name. Okay, let me do one thing. For example, profile manager. Okay, I need to create a manager. For this manager, user profile stub is needed, which is fine. So I go here, profile managers of service display name. Okay, if I call the display name is equal to profile manager dot display name for Alex, let's say. Okay, now profile manager service, user profile service, next user profile service negative step. Okay, instead of this, I think we can have or what we can do is we can go to this pods folder and let's use the templates that it is having. auto mockable template that it is having. Address has come, user profile has come, now product mock has come, only the product mock has come. Let's see if we can generate both user profile service, both auto stub bubble we can generate. Let's see. Okay, user profile service auto stub is not getting generated, maybe something wrong with the mocks, but yeah, at very high level, let's not waste some time on correcting these now, but we can have the stubs, we can have the mocks, we can have the default stub values, we can have the default mock values based on the stencil templates, which based on that it generates the files based on this. Here let's not change it here. Why? Because every time you build it, the mocks will get auto generated. So if you need any default values, of course in these stencil templates automatically default values will be there. If you don't want across all the project these default values, and if you want your own custom default values, change it here, or change it in the or write it like this. So pretty much here like this, there are many commands that are available. We can have the mock properties, and it's they are all available in the of course the Sourcery git link. I'm going to mention that in the description. These are all available in the Sourcery pod git, where how to install it using Cocoa Pods, using package manager, and how to have we can write our own stencil templates also. This you can customize and write it based on your needs. So based on that you can have your own style of stencil templating, which generates stubs and mocks for you for your project purpose. Okay, so I hope this post is useful. Like on stubs and mocks, we discussed what is a stub, what is a mock, what is the difference between a stub and mock, and how to create them. And instead of creating them manually for each and every protocol, which is a tedious process, if we are having hundreds of protocols and models across our application, how to use a third-party component like as a dependency like Sourcery, and make our daily programming easy. I hope this post is useful. Thank you.